Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulonding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gash, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gash Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
Sophie Milk ñu ngi fété juróom benn ati cafka bu dul dañ ñoo leen indil Jalika full cream milk powder neex saf sàpp te bari cafka pour di leen jërëjëfati si ni ngeen defee Sophie Milk seen favorite milk brand léegi mun ngeen a jëfandikoo empty Jalika milk sachets wala carton pour gagner ay xéewal yu riche. Pour gagner motorbike dajaleel fukk ak juróomi empty carton yi Jalika milk pour gagner yeneen xéewal yu mel ni PlayStation 4, TV, fridge freezer, gas cooker, bicycle wala mobile phone. dajaleel fukk ak juróomi empty Jalika milk sachets def leen si biir enveloppe binda si sa tur ak sa téléphone number. mun ngeen koo yóbbu si bépp Jalika milk agent bu leen gën a jege. pour xam bi si raful yi dem leen Jalika milk Facebook page. Jalika milk mooy meew bu ees bu leen so fi indil gën a neex saf sàpp te riche.
South Africa Global is the first and biggest private estate developer in the Gambia and present in 7 other African countries. We take pride in leading innovation in all spheres of real estate sector in the Gambia and beyond. As such, we are launching the development of the first smart and modern office and retail towers in the Gambia called TAF Twins. The TAF Twins is located in the heart of the Kanifing institutional area and 10 minutes drive away from Banjul. TAF Twins is designed to have 5 floors of office spaces ranging from 50 square meters to over 1,000 square meters with 2 elevators, central air conditioning, 24 hours electricity and water supply, with the ground floor reserved for banking, supermarket, restaurant and coffee shop. For your bookings and reservations, please call now on 376-2333 or 776-2333. Thank you.
It's a warm reception from our studios here in Serekunda. This is Star TV News with me, Maimuna Juf Fadera. In the headlines tonight, President Barrow receives Nigerian High Commissioner, Gambia for 5 years to protest Mayor Low's power to issue attestations. Voter registration, peace ambassadors deploy trained observers across 7 administrative regions. GFF distributes football jerseys to female teams. In other news, Ethiopia prepares for heavy rainfall for Renaissance Dam project. UN warns of mass deaths in Myanmar after 10,000 flee fighting. Thousands still displaced after the Congo volcanic eruption. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. The Gambia leader this morning received the letters of credence of the new Nigerian High Commissioner to the Gambia in a ceremony held at the presidency. Modu Elbaji was there.
General Salute! Present! Arms!
His Excellency Mohamed Manu was accompanied to the office of the President by the Minister of Fisheries and Water Resources, Mr. James Gomez, as the Gambia and Nigeria seek to deepen cooperation. Nigeria and the Gambia have benefited from several years of cooperation, and the two sub-regional states are hoping to broaden the relations. His Excellency Manu explains.
Well, my areas of priorities really is to see how, we bring our peoples together, more closer. Investment, I want to see a situation whereby Nigerian investors invest more in the Gambia, and likewise the Gambian investors also invest more in Nigeria. And I would also want to see, if there are areas of which needs kind of agreement, MOUs and other things, which will bring the two countries more and more closer. I will try to pursue them, and if there are new ones are needed, I will also try to ignite some.
The Gambia and Nigeria remain steadfast partners for several decades now. For Star TV, I am Motu Elbaji.
The group Gambia for 5 years and Peace Building has threatened to stage a protest march against the mayoress of Banjul if the IEC doesn't ring in on her to stop issuing attestation. Our Sani has more details in this report.
Already, the group has sent a protest letter to the IEC in which it states that the discretional mandate offered to Rahib Malik Law to issue bad attestation to the people of Banjul is illegal. It argued that the Gambian constitution has no such provision. The Banjul mayoress has also come under torrent of criticism for allegedly using her office to enhance the electoral chances of her party, the UDP. Gambia for 5 years said this is inimical to the country's peace and tranquility. The group vows to protest in front of the election house on Batil Hardin Highway if their demand is not met. The Gambia for 5 years has also condemned the reported harassment of people at registration centers by people said to be UDP agents. The group says the obstruction of people at voter registration centers allegedly by UDP agents on grounds that they are non-citizens, as well as the technical hitches with IEC registration machines, were issue of grave concern to it. On Tuesday, it convened a press conference in Lamin, where Ibrahim Soriba underlined the need for an immediate stop to voter harassment, technical hiccups, and the Banjul mayoress issuing bad attestations. The question of whether the IEC would meet the projected voter registration target at the current pace was also raised during the Tuesday's press conference.
And that we are calling on the IEC to cease this activity, to prevail on the mayoress to stop, and also to, apart from nullifying such attestations, also to resort to traditional means, consult the religious leaders such as the Islam, the Muslim and Christian elders, the venerable leaders, and the elders of Banjul. Every district in Banjul has elders. We saw elders, 4 or 5 elders, helping to attest or identify citizens in various parts of the country to obtain such attestation. Therefore, if the constitution is silent on the mayoress of Banjul, what needs to be done is to resort to traditional means.
Ibrahim Soriba also raised concern over the technical issues that the IEC was having with the registration machines, which he said could affect the progress of the entire registration exercise.
To redouble their efforts to make sure that they increase their personnel on the ground, that is IEC registration staff, because as we speak, it is disheartening to know that only one polling station, only one polling team is handling registration in a shanty town like Burfoot. That is reference. A shanty town like Basse, as we speak, is being handled by one team. Which team is supposed to move after, is it 14 or 15 days, to another registration center? In 44 days, because I believe the entire exercise lasts for 44 days. Therefore, it is highly likely that a lot of Gambians may not be registered with the existing personnel on the ground. Therefore, we are calling on the IEC to look into this constraint.
The Gambia for 5 years Secretary General opined that the IEC should issue a public statement to clarify the reports of non-Gambians making attempts to fraudulently obtain voters' card. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Awasane.
Peace ambassadors, the Gambia deploys 59 trained observers across the 7 administrative regions and 53 constituencies of the Gambia to observe the voter registration process. This was highlighted in a recent report published by the association. Awasane reports.
The report serves as their second update and covers the first phase of the voter registration from Saturday 29th May to Wednesday 2nd June 2021. Overall reports from Peace Ambassador Gambia observers from all 53 constituencies show that the registration is progressing across the entire country and that registration officials are following most of the registration procedures, according to the Executive Secretary Yankuba Manjang, adding that there have been challenges with the functioning of registration equipment such as printers, laptops, which have caused the early closure of some centers, but these have been widespread. Manjang further stated it was indicated that security personnel and political party agents are being deployed across the country to observe the process. Nevertheless, it was noted by Peace Ambassadors Gambia observers that registration staff appear to be inconsistently applying the registration procedures in some centers, and security officials are likewise inconsistent in enforcing the COVID-19 regulations. Manjang explains the methodology that PAG had deployed.
PAG has deployed its observers in every constituency using 2 deployment methodologies, that is stationary and mobile observers. All 53 constituency observers were deployed as stationary observers for a total of 9 days, assigned days throughout the registration period from May 29th to 11th July 2021. While all 6 regional coordinators were deployed to observe on every day throughout the registration period within their assigned regions, where they are mobile, observing the general environment of the registration process and reporting critical incidents as they occur.
Peace Ambassador the Gambia is a voluntary non-profit peace education and advocacy organization operating in the Gambia, Senegal, and Guinea-Bissau. PAG non-partisan citizen observation effort for the 2021 voter registration is to make the process more inclusive, transparent, and accountable by enhancing participation, providing independent information on the quality of the process, and deterring potential problems. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Awasane.
The Gambia Football Federation has today begun distributing sport jerseys to female teams in the first and second divisions of the GFF League. Zaglin Koli with the details in this report.
GFF officials revealed that each of the team will receive 2 sets of jerseys, 18 pairs of shoes, 18 pairs of singlet, and 20 footballs. The Gambia Football Federation has meanwhile registered close to 73 female teams across the country. The 3rd Vice President of the Federation, General Langtombong Tamba, said the support was made possible thanks to the pandemic financial relief that CAF extended to the GFF. He explains that it was meant for both male and female teams.
Also, consultations were made to see in what benefit the female teams can derive from this support. And of course, we concluded and did it in 2 folds. The first one was the financial support that came to you, the teams, directly. And the second phase is what we are witnessing, to purchase jerseys for the various teams.
General Tamba apologized to the team managers for the late distribution of the jerseys, saying the Federation attaches a lot of importance to women football. To him, the GFF cannot brag about success in football if women are left behind. The president of the Gambia Football Federation, Lamin Kaba Bajo, acknowledged that female football has been evolving over the years. He said the current GFF administration is resolute in supporting the development of female football in the country.
In this country, under the current GFF leadership, has seen so many achievements, tremendous achievements, which earn us the attention of our international partners. Mainly FIFA and CAF, and as I've said in the recently held elective congress, and recently it was more of UEFA. We are not the only member association of FIFA and CAF, but I can bet you we are, at the moment, when it comes to women's football, we are a darling.
The first vice president of Brikama United female and male teams, Lamin Dembanyang, expressed delight in the support, though he was unimpressed that it came rather late as his team has already procured jazz for this season.
In terms of the procurement procedures, yes, it was consultative between GFF, the Women Football Association. We know that was done. But in terms of the improvement, I will urge them to work on their timing. I think the materials came a bit late, very, very late, absolutely. And I'm sure they can work on that and improve on the timing. So far, that is what I have to say.
Meanwhile, the GFF Female League of First and Second Divisions is in progress with entertaining matches at QCity. Jacqueline Colley reporting for Star TV News.
Well, those were the local stories. We'll be back with the international news after the short break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulunding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gosh, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gosh Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
Sophie Milk ñu ngi fété juróom benn ati cafka bu dut dañ ñoo leen indil Jalika full cream milk powder neex saf sàpp te bari cafka pour di leen jërëjëfati si ni ngeen defee Sophie Milk seen favorite milk brand léegi mun ngeen a jëfandikoo empty Jalika milk sachets wala carton pour gagner ay xéewal yu riche. Pour gagner motorbike dajaleel fukk ak juróomi empty carton yi Jalika milk pour gagner yeneen xéewal yu mel ni PlayStation 4, TV, fridge freezer, gas cooker, bicycle wala mobile phone. dajaleel fukk ak juróomi empty Jalika milk sachets def leen si biir enveloppe binda si sa tur ak sa téléphone number. Mun ngeen ko yóbbu si bépp Jalika milk agent bu leen gën a jege. Pour xam bi si raful yi dem leen Jalika milk Facebook page. Jalika milk mooy meew bu ees bu leen so fi indil gën a neex saf sàpp te riche.
South Africa Global is the first and biggest private estate developer in the Gambia and present in 7 other African countries. We take pride in leading innovation in all spheres of real estate sector in the Gambia and beyond. As such, we are launching the development of the first smart and modern office and retail towers in the Gambia called TAF Twins. The TAF Twins is located in the heart of the Kanifing institutional area and 10 minutes drive away from Banjul. TAF Twins is designed to have 5 floors of office spaces ranging from 50 square meters to over 1,000 square meters with 2 elevators, central air conditioning, 24 hours electricity and water supply, with the ground floor reserved for banking, supermarket, restaurant and coffee shop. For your bookings and reservations, please call now on 376-2333 or 776-2333. Thank you.
Welcome back after that short break. Still the news. We now look at the news beyond our borders. Ethiopia has stepped up security near its Renaissance Dam project as tensions rise with neighboring Sudan in Egypt. It says it's ready to start the second phase of filling up the reservoir ahead of heavy rainfall expected next month. Al Jazeera's Mohamed Adaw reports from Addis Ababa.
10 years after construction began, water is slowly beginning to rise in Ethiopia's flagship infrastructure project. The Grand Renaissance Dam, which is built on the Blue Nile, is set to power a landlocked country of 115 million people, more than half of whom are off the grid. But as Ethiopia prepares for the second phase of filling next month, countries downstream are once again protesting. But Ethiopian officials insist their plan is not unilateral.
3 countries have agreed on the schedule of filling. Let's say they have reached consensus. There are scientists, 15 of them, 5 from each of the countries. In 2018, designed, formulated a filling schedule. We're just following that filling schedule. This is not unilaterally developed by Ethiopia. It's developed by the 3 countries, the experts of the 3 countries. And you find that schedule in the draft agreements of Sudan, in the draft agreement of Egypt, and in the draft agreement of Ethiopia. In all documents, it is there.
Egyptian and Sudanese officials say that agreement was never signed and therefore not legally binding. Cairo and Khartoum have called for the United States, the United Nations and the European Union to help reach a legally binding deal after an African Union-mediated process failed to reach an agreement. The deal will spell how the dam is operated and filled, based on international law and norms governing cross-border rivers. Egypt relies on the Nile for more than 90% of its water supplies. In March, Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi warned his country's share of the Nile waters was untouchable and that there will be instability in the region if Ethiopia fills the reservoir without an international agreement. Ethiopia says the 5 billion dam is essential and that the vast majority of its population lacks electricity.
Ethiopia is in darkness. 60% of Ethiopians do not have access to electricity. And those who have access to electricity is in a very small distribution, a very small power that goes to each house. And Ethiopia is really very much in need of developing the country, industrialization, urban development, and bringing electricity to rural cities and areas so that, this power will be, instrument of supporting agro-processing, other development needs.
Addis Ababa says security at the dam has been stepped up and the Air Force is actively protecting the airspace over it. The announcement follows recent military exercises by Egyptian and Sudanese forces. Egypt has also signed military cooperation pacts with Ethiopia's neighbors, Kenya and Djibouti. The row over Ethiopia's dam has security implications for the entire region. Ethiopia accuses Sudan and Egypt of dragging their feet constantly over the issue of filling up the dam, something it says both countries knew would be inevitable one day. Mohammed Ado, Al Jazeera, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
A massive loss of life, that's the blunt warning from the UN on the sheer scale of devastation people are facing in Myanmar under military rule. It envoy says urgent action is needed now in the eastern Kenya, where more than 10,000 people have fled the conflict. Al Jazeera's Laura Burdin Menley reports.
Pone Lo hopes the small underground bunker will shelter her from the expected airstrikes. When the military moved in with bombs and artillery fire in March, hospitals, schools and public buildings were attacked. More than 100,000 people from Myanmar's Kayin state fled their homes, many escaping to nearby forests. Now they're working to protect themselves against what they expect to be more bloodshed.
The soldiers are going over the line using bombs and guns to attack our home. I want to see Karen people live comfortably and safely, but right now we have to leave our homes and hide from the war.
These people from Kayin's internally displaced Camp Itu Hata tried to find a way along the banks of the Salween River to safety in Thailand. Neighbouring Kaya is one of several regions where armed groups are fighting back against February's coup, when elected leader Aung San Suu Kyi was deposed.
We believe that they're blockading this area. This is, again, something they do on a regular basis. They will deny humanitarian assistance to any area where they believe there is resistance to their rule. Food is not getting through, the potable water, medicine, other things that people need.
The UN envoy says mass deaths could occur from starvation, disease and exposure.
The junta is blocking roads that could provide aid organizations and those who are trying to get to them access to these people. And I've also heard a credible report just today that landmines are being laid on the roads leading to the forests where these desperate people are.
With the wet season about to begin, malaria and dengue fever could also spread quickly.
Some of the women are pregnant and work close to labor, which makes it hard for them to travel. Some have newborn babies that need a lot of supplies.
Piu Topua has been in a Tuhita camp for 15 years and knows what it's like to face hunger and the constant threats from the military.
Every day I had to follow the news on what the Burmese soldiers were doing and how they were going to come in so we'd know all their moves.
For now, people have no choice but to barricade themselves into what are very flimsy shelters and hope there'll be enough to keep them safe from the next airstrike. Laura Bowden-Manley, Al Jazeera.
Thousands of people in the Democratic Republic of Congo are still displaced after a volcanic eruption last month destroyed their homes. They are living in tough conditions in makeshift camps where aid agencies say the risk of malaria and cholera is rising fast. Al Jazeera's Priyanka Gupta reports.
When Mount Nyiragongo erupted last month, Veronica ran with her 2 children. She carried a few pots so she could feed them. But food in this makeshift shack is hard to come by, and they have no home to return to. Lava destroyed all they had. Their small tent here barely protects them from rain and illness.
We live in misery. I don't eat, and I have a stomach ache that hurts a lot every day. When I don't know what to eat, sometimes I drink water. Today, I didn't eat anything.
And there are thousands like them, scrambling for food, with no toilets or drinking water.
We see a lot of diseases linked to the water that is not of good quality, including diarrheal diseases and often a lot of malaria too. We see many respiratory infections. You have to know that the living conditions are a big part of the situation.
Around 3,500 people lost their homes when Mount Nyiragongo erupted last month. The government says they must remain in shelters outside the city of Goma, while others whose homes still stand are slowly returning.
Those whose houses were burned and destroyed have to stay and wait for the government contingency plan, because we cannot allow them to return to their natural environment that was burned and destroyed by the lava. And as a responsible government, we cannot ask them to rebuild houses.
But even in Goma, the volcanic eruption has melted main water pipes and damaged a major reservoir. Aid agencies and the government are working to provide emergency water supplies. But for now, life remains precarious for the families here as they try to survive hunger and disease under the shadow of one of Africa's most dangerous volcanoes. Priyanka Gupta, Al Jazeera.
Well, before we end the news, a quick recap of our main headlines. President Barrow receives Nigerian High Commissioner. Gambia for 5 years to protest Mayor Low's power to issue attestations. Voter registration. Peace ambassadors deploy trained observers across 7 administrative regions. GFF distributes football jerseys to female teams. In other news, Ethiopia prepares for heavy rainfall for Renaissance Dam project. UN warns of mass deaths in Myanmar after 10,000 flee fighting. Thousands still displaced after the Congo volcanic eruption. That's all for this edition of the news. Do enjoy the rest of our wonderful programs. Join us tomorrow for more news. Thanks for watching. Do have a wonderful night. Bye for now.